Hey everyone, I'm back with another review with the Machina, one of Yoyofactory's newest bimetals in their lineup. As the name suggests, the Machina is sort of the reincarnation of the Cyborg 2.0, whose previous signature was Patrick Borgerding's signature yo-yo. So I'll be going over 5 different sections of the review. I'll be going over the history, construction, trick handling, playability, as well as my personal opinions of the yo-yo, so I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so now the first section, the history section of the review. The Machina is based off of Patrick Borgerding's previous signature yo-yo, the Cyborg 2.0. It's a result of Yoyofactory's collaboration with high-end Japanese yo-yo brand Turning Point. And Turning Point and Yoyofactory had previous collaborations with previous models such as the Proton, the Checkpoint, the original 2 Cyborgs, and as well as the Dogma, just to name a few. Around the National Yo-Yo Contest last year, Kentaro was sort of hanging around, just doing his thing, and he went up to Arizona and wanted to collaborate with Ben and the rest of Yoyofactory to make a couple new yo-yos. And about a year later, the Machina came about. Alright everyone, now moving on to the second part of the review, the construction section. Okay, so the Machina is made from 7075 aluminum and has inner stainless steel weight rings, making it a bimetal yo-yo, as you can see here. Okay, so now moving on to the specs. The diameter is 57.05 millimeters. The width is 42.75 millimeters. The weight is 64.8 grams. As you can see here, it has a center track bearing, and it comes stock with CBC 19 millimeter response pads. So it's a pretty standard bearing and response for both Turning Point and Yoyofactory. That it comes with a 8mm or 10mm axle. Alright, so now I'll be discussing the shape of the Machina. The Machina looks almost identical to the Cyborg 2.0 with similar body indents and cuts, similar to how the Turning Point Basilisk is sort of shaped. The Machina is that the shape was further tweaked to fit more modern 1A, 3A, and 5A styles for players around the world. So I unfortunately don't have a Cyborg 2.0 in person to compare it with, both differences between the two yo-yos. The overall weight of the yo-yo was reduced by 1.8 grams, almost 2 grams, compared to the Cyborg 2.0. The diameter for the Machina is increased by 5 millimeters, and the width increased by 0.10 millimeters compared to the Cyborg 2.0. The 7075 body is also much thinner compared to the body of the Cyborg 2.0, meaning that in play you can feel that the overall weight and the overall material is pretty thin. The body was thinned down to decrease weight and improve maneuverability, while still not sacrificing its powerful spin and its durability. The stainless steel rims placed on the inside matches how the weight was further drawn out from the 7075 material from the previous Cyborg, and a completely different beast. So now here are a few yo-yos to compare the sizes and specs and whatnot. Whoops, so here's a Diplomat. They both share 7075 aluminum, but the alloys or the grades of 775 are different between the two. But you can definitely see how the shapes are similar between the Diplomat and the Cyborg, how it features 2 dips. The diameter is slightly smaller compared to the Diplomat, and the width is just a little bit thinner compared to the Diplomat as well, or a little bit wider, excuse me. So there's that. Here's a Big Dipper. Here is another bimetal yo-yo, the Pulse Fire from Axis. Here is a Shootah. The Shootah and the Shutter share the same specs. So as you can see, the diameter of the Cyborg 2.0 is a lot larger, by almost 2 millimeters actually. You can see how big the difference is. And the widths are just about the same. Now the grade of aluminum that the Shootah has is actually just about the same, or a little bit lesser than the Cyborg. than compared to the X Machinima, so they're all just about the same. Now, in comparison with the Dropner, the diameters are almost exactly the same, with the diameter being exactly the same and the widths also being exactly the same, but it doesn't play like a Dropner. It's just that both yo-yos share a really large diameter. Here is a Replay Pro. The diameters are actually surprisingly just about the same, with the Replay being just probably half a millimeter larger. Not quite too sure. Here are and the widths are just about the same as well. Here's a Recess Weekend. Now there's a huge difference in diameters, also in widths. Okay. So now moving on to the trick handling section of the review. This Machinima can pretty much handle whatever you can throw at it, making it highly versatile and compatible for most styles today. Whether you're into 1A, 3A, or 5A, it can pretty much handle any sort of one of them. So now I'll be going over a few subsections of tricks that most players nowadays do, and it's so speed. The X Machinima can pretty much handle whatever you throw at it. To the lightweight body design, the extreme weight distribution, and stability, the X Machinima can pretty much stay on plane through high speeds and still have a very powerful spin afterwards. In terms of tech, Machinima may sound pretty large because of the diameter, but because of the aforementioned play characteristics that I said before in the speed section, it can pretty much handle any long, short, or unique type string layering tech tricks that you can possibly come up with. So now in terms of grinds, the X Machinima has a very subtle sort of bead blasting to it. Here I have the wavelength edition, meaning that the center and the hub of the yo-yo has a very smooth sort of anodization on it. And on the rims of the yo-yo has sort of a very different texture, sort of like a slight serrated type texture, almost like it was sort of grip tape or sand. Personally, because I have the wavelength edition, doesn't really palm grind as well as you might think, but due to the subtle anodization that the X Machinima has, it pretty much can handle any sort of grinds you want. You know, it can pull off just the regular finger grinds, it could pull off the thumb grinds, despite being a weight ring right here. And it can also pull off pretty decent finger spins, despite being sort of a laser etched and engraved symbol right here in the middle of the hub. In terms of horizontals, the way that the weight distribution is sort of placed, how the 7on75 body pushes out the weight to the rims, and the stainless steel rings actually pushes out that weight or draws out that weight even more, so that the X Machinima can pretty much stay exactly on the plane that you throw it at in the beginning. So horizontals are pretty much a breeze, and also because of the lightweight feeling of the yo-yo, it could pretty much slay through any sort of horizontal combos that you might have, whether they're simple or technical. Moving on to the playability section of the review. So with owning the Machinima for about 2 weeks right now, the X Machinima has a very distinct play characteristics on the screen, and it has a very unique way that it handles itself through combos. The X Machinima on one hand plays very light and maneuverable through any type of string segments that you could possibly go through. Also extremely stable and long spinning due to the bimetal nature, and also the 7on75 material that it's made out of. The X Machinima has a really cool sound to it whenever you bind it. Out of what it looks like spinning. Okay, so as you can see, the X Machinima has a really powerful spin due to the bimetal design of the yo-yo, as well as the diameter and weight distribution. I would say that the Cyborg 2.0 and the X Machinima play almost completely different. The Cyborg 2.0, I don't own one by the way. It's sort of played solid, but also very maneuverable, sort of like the Basilisk from Turning Point. But the X Machinima has a very different play characteristic from it. And it also plays a lot like Turning Point yo-yos more than Yoyofactory yo-yos, which is a good thing. So now moving on to the last section, the conclusion section of the review. Now I would say, me personally, the X Machinima plays more like Turning Point than Yoyofactory, despite it being more of a collaboration between the two companies. It has large amounts of spin power and stability from the palpitation, and also has a very light and maneuverable feeling from the isotope. So the X Machinima sort of plays like a cross between both high-end yo-yos from Turning Point, But I would say that the X Machina is a completely different beast on its own. It displays characteristics from both of the yo-yos, but it sort of combines them into one. Plus the Cyborg 2.0, it has, you know, a very unique feeling to it that I can only describe if you were to try it out on your own. And due to the price tag, it's just under $100. I would say it's pretty much a steal performance if you were to get one. I'd say that this yo-yo is more recommended towards pretty much anybody, whether you're a competition focus player or whether you're a recreational player. It pretty much suits any style. It's perfect for 1A, for 3A because of its stability, for 5A because of its durability, and 1A because of both of them, or all qualities combined. Okay everyone, so I hope you enjoyed the review. So overall, I really like the way that the X Machina plays. If I didn't have the Diplomat, this would most likely be my competition yo-yo to go with from now on. It's just a really overall nice feeling and performing yo-yo. $100 price tag. I can imagine a lot of people snagging these from the stores whenever Yoyofactory does a restock or whatnot. And I can see this being a really popular yo-yo, probably even more popular than the Cyborg 2.0 than it is now. Qualities from yo-yos from Turning Point and Yoyofactory. And I believe that the X Machina is probably the best yo-yo that Yoyofactory and Turning Point has made together yet. So, you know, I just hope you guys enjoyed this review. I made it as detailed as possible and as enjoyable as well. So I hope you guys appreciate that. So listen in the comment sections down below with whatever you guys want me to review next. If you see my channel updates video, I have a couple other reviews besides this one, the X Machina, coming up. And a couple more as well. So just let me know what you guys want in the comment sections down below. And I'll catch you again in the next review. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.